What up, people? Crack Lemonade here, and unfortunately, the regularly scheduled programming was delayed uh, due to me recording something and then the video getting corrupted, and then not wanting to play that same thing again, so I had to pick another game. But I think this is a good replacement game. I will probably get back to that one later because um it is tied to a topic that I want to talk about. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I am talking about greatest heavyweights for the Sega Genesis. Oh cracked lemonade game where he actually talks about the game. Yeah, because I don't know that much about boxing, so I can't talk about boxing. So we're gonna talk about the game because I actually enjoyed this game. So, honestly, it's funny because I just was like, oh, let me just start a new career and start a character from scratch. And, honestly, it's a rare game in the case that, like, you actually do get a save in this game. So, like, you create a character, you go through the boxing career, very limited heads and very limited body types, and I think I did myself a disadvantage by choosing like the middle guy because I think I'm sacrificing a little bit of reach when it comes to not picking the biggest guy. And I don't actually remember why I picked the middle guy because I don't know, I think I just wanted to. Um but in terms of games, like boxing, I feel like was a huge thing, and it still might be huge, but I just really never watched boxing. I wasn't the type to get like the boxing pay-per-views or be close to people who got like the boxing pay-per-views. Um, you know, but the 90s was a big deal for boxing. Like, you know, um you had Super Punch Out for Super Nintendo. Never played that, but like genuinely played this game over and over. It's like one of the games I constantly played and replayed. And this is a game that is played best with the 6-button controller. Um I highly recommend playing it with a 6-button controller over a 3-button controller. And that is because A and C are like your jabs, and then I'm not looking at my Genesis controller right now, but I think it's X and Z. I think it's A B C X Y Z. And so X and Z would be the uppercuts and B would be the block. So I would highly recommend playing with um, the 6-button controller just to give you better controls when you are um, boxing in this game. And I do say that, like, I think I was a little bit lucky when I was playing this game because the first few guys I decided to fight were very taunt heavy. And the game does get more difficult as you go up the ranks, and especially when you get to the heavyweights of the game. They they are faster. They usually have more stamina, and you do end up like fighting folks with higher stamina than you the more you play this game. And then sometimes you get these guys who have like very low stamina, and it's sometimes easy to knock these guys out. But again, as you progress through the game, um they do have more guards, and uh I don't think it's in this one. Um but maybe I will show uh maybe I'll do this later and try to get a little bit farther to get to some of the more difficult boxing matches because like from what I remember, it genuinely is one of those games that like you pick it up, you get into a flow, you understand how it plays, and then once you really get up there and like the heavyweights of the game start paying attention to you, um you know, it gets challenging. And you just, after the match, if you win a match, you get like 3 training things to raise your stats. And then if you lose, you only get to choose 2. It's a game that, again, I don't really know that much about um boxing games and how they played. I don't remember playing them. I don't even know if there are any like PlayStation 1 boxing games. I mean, there's got to be. Was it Knockout Kings? Knockout Kings 2000. I remember that for Nintendo 64. I think I may own that for Nintendo 64 to be quite honest with you. But actually we'll check after recording this audio because now that I think about it, I actually might have like a Knockout Kings game. So that completely renders what I was about to say of me not thinking that I have any N64 games um completely irrelevant and completely wrong in one instant. So again, like I notice here that there is like this guy is um you know able to anticipate me more, um definitely getting at me with the gut shots, but is throwing up more defense than the first 2 fighters, and that is something I appreciate about this game. I haven't played it in a while, and since I haven't played it in a while, and the first game that I was gonna play, the footage corrupted, I got to play this, and I forgot how fun this game actually is. And just the fact that, you can get like a TKO and it's just like, stop the fight. And it's like, and the winner is player 1. Right? I think that is something that is very nice. Um, and definitely before the let's get ready to rumble thing, I feel like became popular. Um, I feel like the peak of that phrase was ready to rumble boxing. It was just like, hey, this one referee who always says that, we need to give him all of the money. We need to make him profit, and we are going to just make a fake game so we don't have to pay real boxers money. And we could just all make the money from the guy who says, let's get ready to rumble over and over again. That is probably a thought process behind that. But yeah, I don't know. I probably played Fight Night on PlayStation 2. Probably owned Fight Night on PlayStation 2. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to boxing, nor do I really um play any boxing games. But one thing I genuinely do appreciate about the Sega Genesis is that there are some games that are just simple enough for you to pick up and not be into the thing. Now, don't get it twisted. There are plenty of like games that are bad on the Sega Genesis, and there are plenty of games that did not age well on the Sega Genesis. But, the good games are good, the bad games are bad. But, like, at the end of the day, it's the experience that you get out of it. Um, there are some games that I probably would get for the Sega Genesis that I didn't experience before. And there are some games that actually I think there's only one game or two that's missing from like the library of games that I had as a kid, but I have a majority of them and the fun ones that I remember. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know. This game is fun. I think it is something that you don't really have to necessarily be into boxing to get into. It might help, but I was not somebody who like watched boxing as a kid or like everybody knew about Mike Tyson biting off Evander Holyfield's ear, and there are certain things like I know of the name Lennox Lewis, but yo, I don't know nothing about no sports, man. And like I ain't got no issue with that. There was a time where people tried to get me interested in all the sports and it was just I just could not. And um there was just an aspect of like certain things where it's just like, hey, like it's especially football. People talk about the game like they're actually playing, and it's kind of weird. And I don't want to get into that. I don't want to piss anybody off by saying like I just think it's weird how people talk about football, and I do kind of feel that way about just like any kind of team, like spectator team sports. Like I don't know. It's just it's weird. And, I just never got into it, but I'm weird and I'm into other weird things that people who like sports would think are weird. But this is like it's my one sports thing. So, this is just me doing what I can with um the limitations that popped in front of my face uh yesterday when I was trying to put this stuff together. And so uh hopefully we'll get back to the regularly scheduled program. Um because yeah, there's definitely a topic that I wanted to talk about and I was going to use Rocket Knight Adventure for, but then I didn't. And so you got the Rocket Knight Adventure footage. And so yeah, we're just gonna adjust and adapt. And that is all I really have for you guys. Next time, I will catch you in the future. It's been Crack Lemonade. Peace out.